Today we're going to talk about taking the first grade writing access test. Here are some things to know.
First through third grades write their responses, while fourth through 12th grades type their responses. All grade levels have 3 parts. The responses are not scored by the English language teacher, but by WIDA, the company who makes the test. The goals for writing. We want students to have extended written responses, use academic vocabulary, and to organize their response. We would like for students to use the entire testing time.
So we are going to look at some pictures today, and the title of it is Making a Bird Feeder. Have you ever seen a bird feeder before? What do you think a bird feeder would do? Do you know without looking at the pictures what a bird feeder would do?
The teacher is waiting for time to respond.
Well, let Miss Collier read this to you, okay? The first grade class is studying birds. These pictures tell a story about the class project. So even though you don't know what a bird feeder is right now, maybe with looking at the pictures we can figure that out, okay? So I want you to take a second and I want you to look through all of these pictures.
She is then providing a strategy to assist with an unfamiliar visual. Allowing students independent time will allow them to link to prior knowledge on the visuals.
Hey, can you tell me what's happening in the first picture?
They are reading a book
About what?
about
What is that a picture of? That's a picture of a bird, okay? And you didn't know what a bird feeder was earlier, so I'm going to show you a picture. Here's a little picture of it. So do you see that bird sitting right there? Okay. And then what do you think he's doing?
he's trying to enter the house.
He's trying to enter the house. That does look like a house, doesn't it? This is actually full of food. This is called a bird feeder, okay? So the bird is sitting there and he's trying to eat out of the house. So that's what a bird feeder is. You got it? Okay. So what are the kids doing around the carpet?
After allowing think time, the teacher identified the unfamiliar word and explained the use to allow the student to be successful on the rest of the assignment.
One of them are raising their hand.
One of them is raising their hand. And what do you think the teacher is doing? What do you think she's reading them a book about?
They're in the back door. The bird.
Good job. They're reading about the birds. And then on the second picture, what does it look like that they've gotten out?
They got out scissors,
Mm-hmm.
glue,
Mm-hmm.
pause,
Popsicle sticks. Good job.
and
Yeah. So they got out a lot of supplies, right?
that looks like milk.
That's a milk carton. Good job. They got out a milk carton. So the title is Making Bird Feeders. So what do you think they're going to do with these supplies?
Going through and allowing the student to process each picture verbally will help strengthen his written response.
Make one of these. Good job. Okay, and number 3, what's happening in your picture?
In this whole picture,
Mm-hmm.
they are like making it and cutting it out.
Yeah, so they're making the bird feeders in this picture. And then what happens in picture 4?
They hang it up on the tree.
They hang it up on the tree. So number 5 has a question mark. So what do you think will happen in picture 5? They've hung it up on the tree, so what do you think would happen next?
I think a bird tried to enter and ate the food.
Yes, a bird would fly onto the bird feeder and try to eat the food. That was a really great answer.
The teacher repeats the student's response so he can process what he has said.
Okay, so we're going to pretend like we're going to write about this, but we're actually not going to do the writing today. We're just going to practice like we would, okay? I'm going to read you the question. Are you ready? It says, write a story about what the students made. Hey, didn't you just tell me the story? Yeah. Remember to write about each picture. Didn't you just tell me about each picture?
In the beginning, the teacher front-loaded the response by working through the response before even reading the question. This can help build confidence.
Make sure the story has a beginning, a middle, and a, do you know the third one I'm going to say?
What?
A beginning, a middle, and a ending. Okay? You may use words in the word box to help you. So, if we were really going to write this, you would have all of this space to write a beginning, a middle, and an end about your pictures. Okay? And then it said use the word box. So do you see all these words? Miss Collier's going to read them to you.
For first grade writing, Access focuses on using words from our word box and writing with organization.
Okay? First, next, last, teacher, window, idea, hang, decorate, carton, and feeder. Okay? So, we're not going to write the report today or the story. We're going to pretend like we are. Okay? So, we needed a beginning, we needed a middle, and we needed a ending to our story. So we need to organize it, correct? Okay. So I'm going to write for you today, okay? And I'm going to pull out some words that were from this word box.
The word box can look intimidating, so the teacher put the words on index cards for this practice and narrowed down the choices.
Because they want us to use these words in our writing. So for the beginning, I'm going to pull out some words for us to use. Okay. So the words are teacher, first, and feeder. So for the beginning, could you use some of these words to tell me about the beginning of our story? So what happens in the beginning?
Beginning. They read a book, read the verse.
So could you use the word teacher in your answer? What happens in the beginning? Could we say first, the this word is teacher.
The teacher was trying to provide scaffolding, but then provided a model for the response.
Yeah. So in the beginning, where we could say first, who's reading the book?
The teacher.
So in the beginning, we could say first, the teacher is, what is she doing?
Reading a book.
Reading a book. And what is the book about?
About the bird.
About bird.
They also paint the bird.
Okay, so so this one is coming up. So you use two of your words, right, from the word box. So first, the teacher is reading a story about a bird. So those are already two words you use from your word box, okay? So we're kind of still in the beginning. So can you tell me about picture 2? So I have the word feeder and carton. Can you use these two words to describe this picture? Okay, go ahead.
She purposely pulled the word carton because the student was familiar with the word as demonstrated in the beginning.
So the word is feeder and carton. Earlier, you said this looked like a milk carton, right? So can you give me a sentence using the word carton?
Here you can see she is giving him plenty of time to respond. This is very important for English language students. They need extra time for processing.
Let Miss Collier help you. The students gathered milk. What's the word?
This one?
Yes. Cartons. Okay, it's kind of the same as a milk bottle. Okay, so Miss Collier's going to do the first one for you. The students gathered milk cartons to use for their bird. What's this word? Feeder. Okay, so the students gathered milk cartons to use for their bird feeder. Did we use two of our words from the box? Remember we have our box up here? Did we use two of those words? Okay, so I'm going to put those to the side. So that's kind of the beginning of our story. So now let's think about the middle of our story. So the middle, I have the word decorate.
She is reminding him of the organization of the writing. Even though they are giving the responses verbally, this is still a writing prompt, and it will eventually be turned into a written response.
And let's use the word next, okay? So we could say something like, next, the students, what are they doing to the milk cartons?
They are making the house.
They're making the bird feeder. Are they also decorating the bird feeders? Yes. So this sentence could look like something. Next, the students are decorating and making a bird feeder. We use two of our words.
Is that a school?
That's at a school, just like here. So let's go ahead and use...
That looks like a house.
It does, but it's actually a school building. So for picture 4, I'm going to see if you can do this one on your own, okay? So can you use the word hang to describe this picture?
You can see gradual release for this response, hoping the student can respond independently.
They hang the house.
So it's called a bird feeder. So they hang the bird feeder. Where? Where do they hang the bird feeder? On the tree. Good job. Then for picture number 5, this word is last. So what did you say happens last? So this is our ending, okay? What happens in the end? After they hang the bird feeder, what did you say?
I said the bird would eat the food and go inside the house.
Good job. So you said the word last. Good job. So that was what would happen last, right? So you spoke all of your ideas to me. Could we have also wrote them down? We didn't, but could we have wrote our ideas down? We could have. So I just had you speak it to me so we could kind of think through it. So your task was to write a story about what the students made. Remember to write about each picture. Did you tell me about each picture? Okay. Make sure your story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. When you were talking, did it have a beginning, middle, and an end?
Students sometimes forget to answer all parts of the question, so you can see that the teacher is making sure that they answered all parts and gave all information needed.
Did we organize it by what happened first, what happened next, and what happened last? We did. We did it in order. So we had a beginning, a middle, and an end. And then lastly, it said to use words from the box. And Miss Collier just put the words on here to kind of help us a little bit. Did you use these words when you were telling me your answer? Yes. So we could have wrote our answer, but this time we just kind of talked through it. Does that sound good? Okay.
Practicing with your student. Take a homework assignment and extend the original work. Read a book together and ask them to use 5 words from the story to rewrite the ending. Watch a small part of a movie or show and have the student organize what they watched in chronological sequence. Ask your student to make a schedule of their school day. Then ask them to turn their schedule into full, complete sentences and add details. These are all great ways to practice at home.